And we're back, and our guest on this segment, Nellie Kelly. And there's a name that is so poetic. I mean, it just rolls off the tongue. Nellie is Tulsa area director of Big Brothers and Sisters. Nellie, good to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, tickled to death to do it. Let's talk a little bit about Big Brothers and Sisters. Explain the concept for us.
We have the world's largest and oldest mentorship program. And sometimes we're guilty of just talking about the fun that big brothers, big sisters, big couples have with their little brothers, little sisters. But really, mentorship is serious business. It's not just about having fun. It is about encouraging children who have a multitude of risk factors. The evidence around adverse childhood experiences, sometimes we shorten it to ACEs, is really striking, especially for kids in Oklahoma and for adults in Oklahoma. We call them adverse childhood experiences, but really they continue to affect us throughout adulthood. So we know if kids are growing up without a parent because a parent is incarcerated, or if they are growing up with a caregiver, a mom or dad who is mentally ill or suicidal, or if there's domestic violence in the household, or if there's food insecurity, the child never knows where their next meal is going to come from. We know that they're at a huge, huge risk of continuing the cycle of incarceration, not graduating from high school, having early pregnancies, not having good self-esteem, having more isolation. So the good news is that having a mentor is the best thing that we can do to balance out all of that adversity so that kids have a chance to reach their full potential.
How do you find these children? How do you group them? How do you get them into your organization?
Moms, grandmas, dads, aunts, uncles, teachers, everybody refers children. We have a pretty simple application process on our website. So we collect some basic information of where the child lives, how old the child is, what their needs are, what their situation is that causes that family to feel like they would be a good candidate as a little brother or little sister. And then we call them in for an interview in our office. We interview the adult, the guardian that the child is living with, and the child themselves to find out why they want a mentor, what they think that they would gain from it, what they like to do for fun. Are they quiet and kind of withdrawn, or are they real outgoing? What would be some things that they would like to learn from the mentorship? And then simultaneously, we're interviewing potential volunteers as big brothers, big sisters, or big couples. And we're asking them the same thing. What do you like to do for fun? What area of town do you live in? What age of child do you think you would work well with? What needs of the children do you think that you would be able to meet most effectively? And then we make good matches, solid matches, because we want kids to have a mentor for at least a year. We want them to have a nice, consistent relationship.
You bring up,
So we try.
you're bringing up a myriad of issues that I've
Yeah.
got to ask you about so the folks at home have a clear understanding. Uh, you then have to investigate your volunteers thoroughly, don't you?
Oh, we absolutely do. We have a multi-layered approach to making sure that every volunteer is safe, that every volunteer is well prepared for their service. And we look into what their motivation is for volunteering, because we want it to be a good experience for the volunteer and for the child. If we make a mismatch for any reason, it's not going to be a successful match. And we want the volunteer to feel fulfilled. We want the child to gain a great experience. We want the parent or guardian to feel like they are included in the process. So yes, we do background checks on every volunteer. We do reference checks from people who know that person well. And then most importantly, we have staff members who every single month stay in touch with the matches, talk every month with the mom. How is it going? How's communication? What activities are they doing together? What feedback are you getting from your child? And then we talk to the child.
So
How's your
then,
match going? How's your big brother going? What do you like best?
so then
And
the
we talk to
child
the big.
does not leave the environment and still has to, I'm a little confused. Wouldn't they be still part of the very environment that's triggered the problem in the first place? Or do you take that child into some facility where they stay out of the problem area?
So what we encourage is for the volunteer to pick the child up a couple times a month, take them and do a fun activity together, incorporate some of the goals that the child has. Maybe the child wants to learn etiquette or learn how to tie their own tie or learn how to be more social or learn how to fill out a job application, any of those things. So the big and the little are going to come up with activities that they'll both enjoy. Maybe they're going to enjoy hiking together. So maybe the big is going to pick up the little brother at 2 o'clock on Saturday and they're going to go for a hike and then bring them back about 5 o'clock so that everybody knows what the plan is. And, you talk about the environment. One thing that all of our kids have in common is that they have somebody in their corner who realizes how much they would benefit from having a mentor. They have somebody who loves them enough to get them in our program. So
So
we want that parent to be an active part of the program.
just so we're very clear here, then the volunteer that will work with the child has a thorough working knowledge of the child's environment before he or she begins to work with that child?
Oh, sure, sure, because we want the mom to approve the volunteer. And we want to tell her and the child about the big brother or big sister that we've identified and why we think it would be a good match and get her approval from the beginning. And we want to tell the big about the little too and say, this is what the little needs to work on. This is what the child's home environment is like. Maybe the child is struggling in math but really likes art. We want the big to understand all of those things so that they can work well together as a team.
None of these things are free. Everything must be paid for in some fashion. That means that you have to go out in your organization and find the money to help support it and to help keep it solvent.
We do.
And how is that done?
So Big Brothers Big Sisters is a statewide organization in Oklahoma. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so we depend upon donations, we depend upon foundations, individuals, companies who see the value of mentorship, who see the destructive power of all the adversity and trauma that kids are growing up with, and they see mentorship as an answer for helping the long-term risk factors in our community. So yes, we absolutely do fundraising. We have offices in 6 cities in Oklahoma. Those are Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Norman, Stillwater, Shawnee, and Bartlesville. So those are the cities where we have a presence, where we are recruiting new volunteers who would love to be a mentor. We are looking for littles who would benefit, and we're looking for donors who would like to support us for sure.
You also have some upcoming events, I understand. Taste of Tulsa, for example.
Taste of Tulsa is our biggest gala fundraiser. It'll be April 30th at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. We are really thankful. You know, you were talking about donors. McElroy Manufacturing has been our premier sponsor for a number of years because the McElroy family sees the benefit to the whole community when mentors are able to support children. So we really appreciate them. Our chair is Joanne Schaub from the Bank of Oklahoma. We just have wonderful support this year. And the best thing is it's going to be fun and in person. As you can imagine, the last couple years have been a bit of a downer because we've done online events. We kept the culinary theme. So there was a culinary theme with Taste of Tulsa, 30 restaurants that make their best tastes for the guests to enjoy. For the last 2 years, we've done a food delivery to homes, and then a chef by video would teach us how to prepare the things in the delivery. But this year we're back in person. We have a band and an auction and real live people, and it's just
Nellie,
be a lot of fun.
when and where will this be?
It's going to be April 30th. That is a Saturday night, starts at 6 o'clock, and it will be at the Hard Rock in the Sequoia Ballroom. Really beautiful event facility, and we are going to have a great time. Sponsorships are available at tasteoftulsa.org, and individual tickets are also available. So we would love to have you there to learn more about our program, support a really good cause.
I understand the George Kaiser Family Foundation is also a part of this. So you got some heavy hitters backing you, kid.
Well, George Kaiser Family Foundation, Ann and Henry Zero, and the Schusterman family, all of them see what happens when we don't support kids.
I hate to do this,
And
but we're
we
all out
need
of time, and
all.
I'm sorry to do this to you, but we want to hear more about it. So perhaps down the road we can have a follow-up to this, all right?
I would love that. Thank you so much.
Nellie, thank you. Nellie Kelly with Big Brothers and Sisters. She's the Tulsa area director. And we're all out of time. Thank you for being a part. We'll see you next time.